next partnership is Sam Peterson, Monique de Costa and Kate de Cruz and their project about storytelling and housing. Thanks so much.
Thanks, David, and hi everybody. It's great to see everybody still here, and we're really excited to be a part of this forum today. I'm Kate de Cruz, and I will be talking through our project with Monique and Sam. And I guess very briefly, my background is in occupational therapy, and I'm a research fellow or a senior research fellow at the Summer Foundation and have a research partnership with La Trobe University. And so today, the three of us really want to talk with you about a co-design project that we've embarked on to develop capacity building tools for people with disability who are currently living in aged care. And I'm going to kick off the presentation, but quickly move over to Mon and Sam that will share a few more insights. So as a background, very quickly to our project, as many of you may know, we work for the Summer Foundation, and the Summer Foundation is a not-for-profit organisation that really advocates for the rights of people, particularly young people with disability who are stuck in nursing homes. And our mission is to prevent and help get people out of nursing homes. And while there's a lot of work in that space, one part or one aspect of the work is recognising, I guess, the challenge of that move, and particularly for people who have been living in aged care or in group homes for a period of time. So trying to find ways to work with people to enable people to make that big move and to really envision the possibilities that can happen. And so this project's really founded on that belief of trying to find some ways and to create some tools that will help people to feel that they can take that big move out of residential aged care or group homes into more independent living. So there's two parts to this. The first part is the storytelling co-design project. And the aim of that project is was to co-design and create tools to build the capacity of people with disability to move into inclusive housing models. So we had a really specific aim with this project. But because this project was really founded on using co-design principles, and we were really keen to, I guess, engage with as many people as possible and to get a variety of experience and perhaps challenge ourselves around the way in which we engaged with people with living experience of disability, we saw this as a great opportunity to conduct some research and to evaluate the co-design project as well. So that's where I've really come into the project. I wanted to understand what were people's experience of participating in this project, what worked really well, what didn't work so well, so that we could continue to develop our knowledge and skills in this area of co-design. So we were interested in understanding what is the experience of participating in a co-design storytelling project, and that was from the perspective of all participants in the project. So very briefly, this diagram here just really, it talks to Dasha's original point that co-design is a process. So over a 12-month period, there's been this really in-depth process of recruiting the co-design participants. So we were really committed, as I said before, to having as broad a kind of engagement as possible and valuing the engagement and input of all co-design participants. So looking at actually employing people and paying them for their time. And so we engaged in a recruitment process for those roles. Then there was the actual co-design sessions, which were all about sharing people's stories, listening and learning and trying to really understand what are the key issues that we need to resolve here and trying to identify what might be the tools that are best used to address these issues. And then the co-design development of the tools themselves. And that's literally just finished up in the last 2 weeks. So it's been a very busy, intense 12 months that Sam and Mon will talk with you further about. And as I said before, I really come in at the evaluation phase. So I had the great privilege of being able to just sit down and chat with everybody involved in the project before the project started, midway, and now at the end of the project, and to listen to what people's experiences were and to try and make sense of this co-design project, and also to evaluate, to get people's feedback on the tools that were created and their sense of how useful they will be for the target audience, for the people that we were designing the tools for in the first place. So that's a bit of an overview of the project, and I will hand over to Monique now, who will talk, and then Sam, who will talk a lot more about the actual group, the program, and what we learned through the process.
Thank you, Kate. Hi, everyone. I'm Monique. I've been working as a facilitator and also helping to manage the project. As Kate mentioned, we did employ people as casual employees into the project as lived experience partners, but we also created some additional contributor roles for people who wanted to be involved at different stages or due to availability, couldn't or didn't want to commit to the full project. And these roles were really designed around the skills and relevant experience people wanted to bring. As everyone's spoken about today, people do wear many hats, and I guess that's what this word cloud is really there to represent, that people, bring a range of skills. Our lived experience partners are artists and teachers and data analysts, and all of these other things that you see here. So what is co-design? I guess that's the million-dollar question. At the end of the project, so only really last week, we did ask our lived experience partners and contributors what co-design means to them. So we would like to share a quick video to share some of those other perspectives on what it does mean for people. Hopefully it works. It's always risky playing a video through PowerPoint, but we like living on the edge.
I think it's very important because you can bring together various experiences and outlooks, and like you cover a broad range to get a more, open perspective.
So if you actually thereby include the disabled people in the development, then it's going to be more fit for purpose.
It was a satisfying feeling being a legitimate part of founding a good resource for other people to be part of. And I felt like a legitimate contributor for that.
When I first joined the team, I didn't even know what co-design was. I have discovered it means working as part of a cohesive team. Each person in the team brings their own individual skills and experiences.
It means spending the time to work with others to incorporate their input. It's about listening to other perspectives, experience, and knowledge to get the best possible design. Although co-design can create complexity, its benefits far outweigh this.
I think that good co-design is about not only listening to people with disabilities, but also enabling them to build their capacity. It's easy to call something co-design, but less easy to actually define it. And I think that that's probably one of the key things, is to be clear about what it is, set the expectations from the beginning, and understand the roles and the key decision-making points to perhaps.
So as we've just heard from some of our lived experience partners and contributors, I guess a couple of key themes really came through for us around what co-design is really about. And three of those things were really just about working together as a team, listening to each other, and really valuing each other's knowledge and skills. And this, I guess, really got us to wonder about you know, how helpful or unhelpful the word co-design is, and whether, you know, whether there's a good way to kind of define it and frame that term. So I'll throw to Sam now to talk more about that and through some of the other learnings from the project.
I'm a minimalist. So I think, what is wrong with just calling it design instead of co-design? Also, I don't like the difference that co-design implies. Any kind of design is made with lots of people. It implies an othering, which people with a disability have had too much of. I have had too much of. And people with disability should be the decision makers, not just the storytellers. We are the researchers too, and important things can get lost or overlooked when we are not in the driver's seat. This time we had too little time to drive. We needed to go on quick time. However, the project has given me a great work flexibility with my disability, and I could concentrate on getting my voice out. But I could only do this because I trust these peeps. And we made some great tools together. At first, with the job, I was a bit lost. I'm a bit of an A type, and the first part was getting to know each other and deciding what to do. But then it was like outcomes. Yes. It's kind of important too, because this stuff, storytelling, parts of our lives that we wish didn't happen, is really re-traumatizing. So it's important to know it's going somewhere really worthwhile. We are doing this to help others like us. We could have done so much more with a year rather than 6 months. And probably we would have had more of a part in things.
Thanks, Sam. As Sam has pointed out, I mean, one of the things for us has been time, and time is a huge part of this co-design process. You know, we know that there will always be time constraints and the realities of that with every project. But, you know, I think for us, time is also where the value and the benefit is in giving people that space to be able to reflect for that story sharing, but also learning for us was really being able to revisit the process more regularly throughout the project, and looking at defining those changing roles. As Dash had spoken about earlier, if we look at co-design as a spectrum, we very much, we're working along that spectrum. At different times of the project, we needed to work in different ways, and being really transparent about that, and honest and open, and having those conversations throughout the project was definitely a learning for us. We can't, of course, talk about the project without sharing the awesome tools that we did co-create together. So the tools that were created were podcast series between two lived experience partners, including Sam. And this really speaks about topics such as fears around moving, the day-to-day reality of living somewhere new and out of a nursing home, and also challenging other people's perspectives about your own move. We also created a support resource, which was sharing information and experiences around where to find support, who's in a support team, and how to choose good support when moving. And finally, a video series from Helen that you see there, who recently moved out of aged care. So these are all available online under the resource section of the Housing Hub website, which is an arm of the Summer Foundation. And lastly, I guess I just wanted to share, we referred to earlier as using existing platforms and networks to recruit and to share the opportunities that we have. So this is one way that we do that. And it's called the Staying Connected page. It's on our website, and we use this, or it's dedicated to really capturing and sharing experiences of people from our network, and also opportunities to get involved. So if you are interested in more of our work, here's a good place to check out. So thank you very much for letting us share our project with you all, and we look forward to answering some of your questions a bit later on.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, team. Sam, especially, thank you so much. And Sam, you really kind of touched on some of the challenges, I think, that are worth talking about today. About making sure that, people with living experience, feel like they're in the driver's seat, like you said. I think that's really important. Yeah. Fist pump for Sam. Yeah. I love that. I have to admit, Sam, a little silver lining about pandemic. I personally love fist bumps, because it's not immediately obvious for me that I don't use my hand very well, and I mess up a lot of handshakes. And I love the fact that people don't want to shake my hand anymore. So, okay, well, let's maybe move now to the panel discussion part of this afternoon. So at this point, if we were in the room together, we'd be shuffling chairs and kind of getting everyone up, and just trying to imagine that all 9 or 10 presenters that we've had today are kind of sitting in a lovely arc in front of us. And this is the point where I'd like for this to be as interactive as we can.